John Lennon was a part of the biggest boy band to ever exist. He was known and often praised for many things alongside his extremely popular music, most notably his peace activism, his hippie image, and his centricity, especially when it came to his relationships. His immense popularity from being in the Beatles and his premature death cemented him as a well-beloved legend. But behind the peace sign John often represented, he was no angel. In a 1980 interview with Playboy, he said, "All that I used to be cruel to my woman, I beat her and kept her apart from things that she loved, was me. I used to be cruel to my woman, and physically, any woman, I was a hitter. I couldn't express myself and I hit. I fought men and I hit women." He later elaborates that his abuse towards women motivated his peace activism, going on to say, "That is why I'm always on about peace. You see, it is most violent people who go on for love and peace. Everything's the opposite, but I sincerely believe in love and peace. I am not violent man who has learned not to be violent and regrets his violence. I will have to be a lot older before I can face in public how I treated women as a youngster."
That's Paul and me, his main lick, but lots of the words and parts and bits from me and possibly the others in the studio. All that, I used to be cruel to my woman and beat her, that's me, because I used to be cruel to my woman and physically. Any woman. You know, I was a hitter. I couldn't express myself, and I fought men, I hit women, I was violent. That's why I'm always on about peace, you see. It's the most violent people that go for love and peace. And I sincerely believe in love and peace. But I am absolutely a violent man who has learned not to be violent and regrets his violence.
I was pretty self-destructive at college too. When I was at art school in Liverpool, it was mainly a one long drinking session. I remember at college, I always got a little violent on drink. I used to have a friend called Jeff Mohammed, rest his soul, who died. He was a half Indian Arab who was my friend at art school. He would be like a bodyguard for me, so whenever I'd get into some controversy, he would sort of ease me out of it. But I do recall at college punching through telephone box glass, you see. I don't like that waking up and thinking, what happened? Did I kill somebody?
The first national paper press we got was the back page of the Mirror with me beating up Bob Wooler at Paul's 21st. That was the first Lennon hits out story, and that was the first national stuff we got. And that was terrible, And I was so bad the next day, they had a BBC appointment, and they all went down the train, I wouldn't come. And Brian came into my house in Mendips, and was pleading with me to go down there, and I was so afraid, what the outcome of nearly killing him, because I nearly killed him, because I think he'd said something about, he insinuated that me and Brian had an affair in Spain, so I remember it vaguely. I was out in my mind to drink, or when you get down to the point where you drink all the empty glasses, that drunk, and he was saying, well, come on, John, tell me something like that. He was saying, tell me about you and Brian. We all know like that, and obviously I must have been frightened of the fag in me to get so angry at that. When you're 21, you want to be a man and all that. And it was the first time I thought I can kill this guy. I just saw it like from on a screen, that if I hit him once more, that's going to be it.
He was not only abusive to women, but abusive to his own son Julian, leading Julian to even claim that Paul McCartney was actually more of his father figure than John Lennon. Julian growing up was often jealous of the love that Sean, John's son with Yoko Ono, received. Mom was more about love than dad. He sang about it, he spoke about it, but he never really gave it, at least not to me as his son. John even went on to confess that Julian was born from a bottle of whiskey. I'm not going to lie to Julian. 90% of the people on this planet, especially in the West, were born out of a bottle of whiskey on a Saturday night, and there was no intent to have children. John would reportedly degrade, scream, and even sometimes hit his son before he had dropped out of his son's life to attend to his family he had created with Yoko Ono, with young Julian going on to be the inspiration behind the classic song we know as Hey Jude. I think it's safe to say we'd all like to imagine John Lennon lived up to what he heavily represented, but behind the smoke and mirrors and legendary status, John was a hypocrite and abuser who quite literally epitomized the saying, "Do as I say, not as I do." And the sad thing is, mostly all of this information comes directly from John Lennon's mouth. Not to say that John couldn't have grown or changed from his disgusting behavior, but he was definitely given more props than what he held off.